not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. He's roaring like a lion. Let hope arise and make the darkness hide. My faith is dead, I need a resurrection somehow. Now I'm lost in your freedom, and this world I'll overcome. My God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. He's roaring like a lion. He's roaring. Let heaven roar and fire fall. Come shake the ground with the sound of revival. Let heaven roar and fire fall. Come shake the ground with the sound of revival. Let heaven roar and fire fall. Come shake the ground with the sound of revival. My God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. He's roaring like a lion. He's roaring alive. He's roaring like a lion.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
Good morning and welcome to the King's Report this Monday, July 17th, 2017. I'm your host, Hung Sean Moon, second king of Cheongguk. 8th year of Cheongi, second, fifth month, 24th day by the heavenly calendar. Let's go first to Tim, the agent elder, for our AccuWeather forecast. Tim.
Good morning. It's a comfortable 65 degrees right now in the Cheongguk area, partly cloudy, and it's going to be cloudy but with lots of sunshine today and getting up to about 84 into the mid-80s. There's going to be possibility of thunderstorms and a slight chance of severe weather. There's that article about the family in Arizona that was swimming in the swimming hole and got caught in a flash flood, and they were all killed.
Wow.
So if you're going out into nature, you need to check the weather before you go.
That's right.
Be aware and be prepared.
Yeah, and there's certain areas in the country where the flash flooding is really fast and serious. You got to be aware. Like especially in the desert areas, they don't, you don't assume it because it's all dry. There's a little hole, but that runoff just pours in.
Yes.
Because there's no flora or fauna stopping it. You got to watch out. There are flash flood areas which you have to watch out for.
Yes.
That's too bad. That's really too bad. I wish people would be more aware when they go into different natural environments.
Yes, yes.
Do some basic research of the dangers that may exist. You know, and that's with anything, right? I mean, that's,
Yes.
you know, but you do, yeah, that's too bad. So,
But there is a slight chance of a severe weather today in northeast Pennsylvania. So I think,
okay, that's good. When they say be aware of the at least last week, it wasn't terrible weather. I mean, it was not. It was a little bit of rain. I didn't see severe thunderstorms last week.
No.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
The AccuWeather forecast is not always the most accurate.
Really? Oh, come on.
Although
I thought I was getting 100%.
although the temperature is quite accurate.
I see. Okay.
But when they say severe warning,
Well, slight chance, they say. Slight chance.
now where are you getting that? Is that from the Weather Channel?
No, it's from AccuWeather.com.
Oh, there's an there's an
There is an
AccuWeather.
AccuWeather.com.
Okay,
yes.
okay. Yes. Thank you, Tim, for that brief report. It is going to get hot into the 80s, however, right?
84. Yeah.
84.
About the same as yesterday.
Oh, and by the way, good news for the Chunilgung Pond.
Ah.
The filter finally is coming in
Ah.
this week.
Good.
So as you can see, we now have babies. Did you see the babies?
No, I haven't seen them.
They've now birthed. They're that big.
Oh my goodness.
And now there's hundreds of baby carp.
Uh-oh.
So adding more pee and poo into that closed environment. So we need a filter. And so that filter is coming in this week. And that will, of course, clear up the ammonia level. The ammonia was a little high in there.
I see. They may need a bigger house.
Well, with the filter, it'll clean it out.
But
And-
hundreds, you say? Hundreds?
There's hundreds.
Oh my goodness.
There's hundreds. Those
I
fools,
think you need,
man.
maybe need a house with a few more rooms.
you know, they start out this big, but they get this big.
I know, that's what I mean.
Shoot.
You know?
Now, I have been doing some research on
Mm-hmm.
eating carp, because actually in most parts of the world, carp is a delicacy. Did you know that Asian carp was brought to the West
Mm-hmm.
because it is a delicacy in the East?
Mm.
Okay. Actually, Mrs. Kong has also had carp. I talked to her yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We took her out to dinner after service. But she says she has tried Asian carp. And anybody's tried it, I've been doing research, and people who taste it, they say it's absolutely fantastic. It's way better than tilapia, they say. They say it's almost like crab meat. That's how tender and fluffy and delectable Asian carp is. It's just very bony. So there are some cooks who just debone it as they eat it, like fish fry or whatever, and you just have to debone it as you eat it. Or there's particular ways to fillet it, which remove the very problematic Y bones, but they're actually quite big bones. Okay, I was told by people that the bones go in all these random directions, which is not true. They follow the same order, but just a different order as a different fish, but same order in all carp. They don't go randomly. It would be crazy if the bones grew randomly. But that's what Korean people have told me. I said, what
The universe is not random.
that's ridiculous. They grow in specific scientific patterns. Okay, now I've been watching how to fillet them. It's actually not that hard. But they say the meat, the Asian carp meat, is absolutely fantastic. One chef says, if you can't beat them, eat them. Because you know they're an invasive species, or they were an invasive species. Now they're what is known as a naturalized species, because common carp now has been here for about 200 years. So now they've naturally balanced with the ecosystem, which is called a naturalized species, not a invasive species. There are certain invasive species, okay, that are not doing well, and they continue to wreak havoc on the ecosystem. But once the equilibrium is met, which Asian carp have done, they are no longer a invasive, but a natural. Do you know smallmouth bass was an invasive species to Virginia and places like that? Did you know pike was also an invasive species? See, all these things were quote invasive species. But now fishermen have no problem with them because they're naturalized. So what people have to realize in the fishing community is that common carp now, which is Asian carp, other type of fish that they call carp are actually not carp. Like I believe buffalo carp is not carp. And it was common carp, which is the Asian carp, and which is koi, but koi just has a different color. It's a mutation which has just different colors. That's it. Same fish, same flesh, everything. It's no longer an invasive species, so don't be racist towards the common carp. Fish it,
Won't be
hunt it, eat it. You know what I'm saying? You can eat it. The flesh is fabulous. I heard.
I don't think it's racist. I think it's speciest or something like that.
No, I use racist knowledgeably, okay, with knowledge, understanding that people have an emotional reaction when we say racist. And so sometimes I'll tell the kids, hey kids, don't be racist towards weapons. Even though I understand weapons are not a race. But I don't want them to be racist against force multipliers as they're training combat arts and very dangerous things, okay? I mean, the boys don't have a problem with being racist towards weapons, but girls have a tendency to have a problem with weapons when they first start. But they get over it. They get over it as they understand the nature of real combat martial arts. Alrighty, folks.
Okay.
Anyways, pray for us in the
So
pond.
that's the weather.
Pray for us in the pond and the filter. The weather is praying for us too. And hopefully we can get all these carp very healthy so we can harvest them. Hey, we're going to harvest them. We're going to eat some of those carp. At the same time,
Can we fish?
exactly, yes, we will fish. We will fish. They'll be easy to catch. I eat anything. And then also we'll raise the babies, hopefully. We'll learn how to do that. That's a whole another process too, but we'll learn how to do that. So then we can have a kingdom koi, so that anybody who wants to raise fish and honor father with a small aquarium, we can do it in a small aquarium at home. Think about koi, it's great. They don't grow beyond the size of the aquarium. So as long as you don't have to, if they're smaller environments, you don't feed them so much. Just give them 1 pellet, 2 pellet, you know, and they'll survive. Obviously you need an aerator, which we didn't have, which is the reason why they died. But they're actually very hardy fish. People used to think that koi would overpopulate and overtake a pond, for example, right? Or polluted, or they would make the waters polluted. But that's not true. Polluted waters allow koi to thrive. Why? Because they're tough. You see? So for example, bass, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, a different type of species of fish, which are, quote, naturalized, when they encounter agricultural pollution or cow poopy that runs off into the water, they get killed because the acidity just ruins them. The ammonia kills them. But carp can handle that. That's why in polluted ponds you'll find only carp there. Not because they create the pollution, it's because they can survive the pollution. Do you see what I mean? But there's so much misinfo about the carp. And there's a nice lawyer, there's a lawyer, a white guy, he's a lawyer.
Carp lawyer?
No, he's a fisherman. He runs a YouTube channel called Catfish and Carp. Go ahead, pull that guy's up. Pull that guy. Catfish and Carp or something like that. Catfish and Carp. And he's a carp fisherman. He loves fishing carp. And he's actually a lawyer by trade, but he's also an avid, crazy fisherman. He loves fishing. And, you know, he's educating YouTube and the whole internet about the fallacies and the mythology surrounding carp. It is not an invasive species anymore. It is now a naturalized U.S. species. So it's not no longer a danger to our. There he is. Is that it? Is that the white guy, the lawyer? Yeah. Catfish and carp. I just found his YouTube channel as I studied this stuff, how to actually eat carp.
So they used to be illegal aliens. They got amnesty. Now they're U.S. citizens.
Exactly. That's a common carp, I believe. Anyways, he has a whole species of carp. And there's also other type of fish that look like carp, but they're not actually carp. But people call them carp. So there's a lot of confusion in the carp world, so to speak. Anyways, the point is for people who want to honor father with a koi pond or a koi aquarium, they can. And they can connect with the kingdom koi, and then their house can be connected with the Chaniugung Lake Providence. You know what I'm saying?
Hundreds of babies sounds like we have a lot to share.
I think there's going to be thousands and
Thousands of babies.
I'm not joking. They
I'm sure you're not,
reproduce
yes.
so vigorously.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you see all those bubbles? We found out what those bubbles are on top. That's all. It's sperming. They're sperming. So the females layer their eggs all over the walls and on the lotus plants and everything, and the males swim by and they sperm it.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, I mean they do chase the female like that. They do chase and rub on her, but they do shoot the sperm out of it. So that is foam that you're seeing all over the top. And sometimes in the morning, there's huge bubbles. You see those big bubbles?
Yes, I did.
That's sperm. That's that's carp koi sperm. They're very active.
Remind me not to go swimming when there are bubbles.
And you were swimming all over in that, Tim.
Before the bubbles. Before the bubbles.
Tim was getting impregnated by the koi. Oh, Lord. But the filter will take care of that. The filter will take care of all the biomass and be able to filter that stuff out. It is, everybody's enjoying that in the studio audience, but it is a natural, response to a warmer environment. Okay, so, but we've just been noticing they've been spawning prolific, and they've just been going at it constant. Those carp are healthy and active. Boy, and now you see their little spawn, their little babies swimming around. They're so cute. They're also different colors, So there's some great patterns that are coming out of the Kingdom Cheonryugung Palace Kingdom Koi.
Can't wait.
And so I told Kook Jung, if he wants some, that I give him some. He said, "Oh yeah, that'd be great." I'm probably going to make each one of my kids have their own aquarium where they can honor Father by caring for those fish. And each one of them will be responsible for taking a couple, maybe one koi or two koi, three koi, however many they want, and then raising them in their rooms, taking care of it, learning how the filter works. It's a good way to start kids learning how to work a small ecosystem, a aquatic ecosystem. That just increases your knowledge of the natural world. Okay, and it makes you fall in love with, different, taking care of animals. You know what I mean? Alrighty, folks, let's get to our Rima this morning. After that brief report on the Kingdom Koi. We are in Matthew 13 today in the parable of the sower. Look at this. On the same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the sea, and great multitudes were gathered together to him, so that he got into the boat and sat. Look at that. Jesus is on the boat again. He's on the boat again. You see that?
On the water, yeah.
On the water again. Does that sound familiar? You see that?
Yes.
He's on the water again. Look at that. We're talking about Kingdom Koi and Jesus on the water. I think I'm going to make a little tiny boat that we can ride across the pond.
Okay.
Like a small inner tube with a floor.
Okay, yes.
With a rubber mat floor or something.
Okay.
So you can sit in it like Indian style and paddle around.
Maybe a
with the
little a barrel or something like that. Yeah.
We'll do something like that. That'd be fun. These are paddling through the water in the lake. All right, so he got into the boat. Jesus gets into the boat and sat. And the whole multitude stood on the shore. Hey, maybe I should do a Sunday service out there where I'm sitting on the water.
On the water, yes. There you go.
Then he spoke many things to them, in parable, saying, Behold, a sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seed fell by the wayside, and the birds came and devoured them. Some fell on stony places where they did not have much earth, and they immediately sprang up because they had no depth of earth. When the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell on thorns, and the thorns sprang up and choked them. But others fell on good ground and yielded a crop, some 100-fold, 60, 30. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Now, we covered this during the Kingdom series. In the perspective of the kingdom. And that whole mysterious phrase at the end, some get 100-fold, some 60, some get 30, etc., is a definition of free market economics.
Yes, it is.
It's not guaranteed how much bounty you'll have.
That's right.
It's how well you serve your customers, how well you love your customers, how crazy you are about your customers, how well you try to make their life better, how many products, goods, and services you create for them, basically how infatuated you are about your customers is the amount by which the customers will reward you. Just naturally, you'll just be rewarded by taking care of other people. And so some will yield 100-fold, some will yield 60, some will yield 30. But the point is, people will yield. Now it's interesting that Jesus is on the water, and then he's using a land metaphor. I didn't know, you know,
I hadn't
he's
noticed
on
that.
the water, he's sitting on the water, and he uses a land metaphor or parable to illustrate how the kingdom will work, how it will operate. But for Christians, that's a very mysterious thing. He's talking about all these things. Now they understand, because he goes on in the next section to describe some of the stuff about faith and, okay, some fell on stony places, so they have less faith, or some got thorns and the devil comes and the wicked things of the earth, steal and just suffocate it, the seeds and all this kind of thing. But then they don't get, but others fell on good ground and yield a crop 160, 30-fold. What does that mean? What people don't realize is that a truly nationally free market or internationally free market, it's a faith-based economics. Because nothing is guaranteed by the state. Nothing is guaranteed by centralized power. Nothing is guaranteed by some centralized organization. There's always an element of anxiety, but if you embrace that anxiety, like you have to do in real combat sports or things like that, the uncertainty, you embrace the anxiety, embrace the uncertainty, thrive in the anxiety, thrive in the uncertainty. Nothing's guaranteed, but you keep pressing forward, and there's an excitement because nothing is guaranteed. Now, if you embrace that and have that spirit, you'll do fine. But if you're paralyzed by that anxiety, paralyzed by the uncertainty, paralyzed by not being able to see exactly what is ahead, not be able to think on your feet, move on your toes, okay, like a deadly boxer. Conor McGregor is going to be fighting Floyd Mayweather. And he's not in MMA, in boxing. And of course, Conor McGregor is a tremendous mixed martial artist. But fighting Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather, in boxing, and thinking he's going to knock him out, unless by some literal miracle. I mean, and he's done tremendous things. I mean, don't get me wrong, that kid has definitely done some tremendous things, like knock out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds in a fluke. You know, he has a lot of power in his left hand. He's a southpaw. Very skilled martial artist, but he can't kick, he can't knee, he can't elbow, he can't do any grappling, no wrestling, no jiu-jitsu. He only can box with a guy who's been never knocked out in over 200 fights. Is it 200 fights? Yeah, 20 years. 20 years of professional world-level boxing. Mayweather has never been knocked out. So Conor, now I know he's hyping the fight, and he's going to make millions and millions. He's going to make probably $100 million off this fight in each one of them. The pay-per-view is like $100 just to watch the fight.
So they both win.
Oh yeah, they're making money either way. That's why he's doing it. But it is, anyways, the point is, he's going in there thinking in another game. Okay. But one thing good about it, he embraces the uncertainty, he embraces the anxiety. He thrives here. Look, and he succeeds. In a free system where nothing is guaranteed from the government, and nothing is guaranteed by the government forever, because at some point the nation will implode economically. Okay, this is what's happening to America. We are going to hit an economic crisis. Okay, experts like Peter Schiff are saying that's going to probably be in September. The crash of the dollar is going to come. It's not because Trump made it. It's because of the decades of quantitative easing and false manipulation of interest rates by the Federal Reserve. They are creating and kicking the can down the line. they are creating the economic crash of the dollar by being irresponsible with manipulating the markets, okay? That's why it's going to crash. It's not going to crash because of Trump. It's going to crash during Trump's reign, and they want to organize it so it does crash during his reign so that he can be blamed for the economy. Okay, so people have to be ready for an economic crash that is coming. Got to be ready for the crash of the dollar. There is anxiety in the future. There is uncertainty in the economics of America. But at the same time, if one prepares and does not think about paper money, but think about assets that can remain through the economic crisis and depressions that we always talk about, you can actually become very wealthy through crisis.
Yes.
And come out way on top.
Yes.
Remember, we always talk about assets, human relationships, networks. Your children are assets. Remember how the satanic world tells you your children are liabilities? They cost so much to go to college? No, that's because the system robs you and puts everybody in debt slavery, stealing all the money, give them useless degrees that they'll never use. There's alternatives to that now. If you're not part of the exploitative slavery system and you realize it for what it is, they're not a liability. They're a tremendous asset to you, your family, and your dynasty. And of course, you are a great asset to them as they create their dynasties. Networks, human relationships, your children, if your children, your parents, who are honorable. Honorable people, they are assets. Okay? What else we talk about? Gold, silver, land. Real assets that don't devalue or depreciate over time. Trade skills, survival skills, electric work, plumbing. Remember, in Chaniguk, tradesmen are very wealthy.
Yes.
Hollywood will not just only be able to promote leftist lunatic techies and some of that as the ones that have all the money. Tradesmen will make 100K, 200K. Why? Because China is booming so much, there's so much business, so much building, so many new malls coming up, so many new little shops coming up, and that requires plumbing, electric work, building work, construction. There'll be so much activity going on, so much infrastructure building, beautifying in China because there's going to be the instruments of collusion and impediments towards market growth, namely the federal government, is gone. How it exists today, of course. So many things can be seen in this parable, but that's a very interesting thing that Jesus gets in the boat and he preaches about the land.
With seeds.
Eh? Seeds of seeds. Yes. On the boat. On the water. That's the bubbles you see. Lots of seed.
Yes.
On the water. A lot of koi seed going on there. All right, folks, let's take a short break. We'll be right back with Mrs. Kong. Don't go away.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today. Carr Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Carr Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology, it's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Carr Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood, the history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun, to the best in compact concealed carry. Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today. Carr Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Carr Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology, it's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Carr Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood, the history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun, to the best in compact concealed carry. Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
And we are back. Welcome back to the King's Word this Monday, July 17th, 2017. I'm your host, Hyungju Sean Moon, the second king of Cheongguk. Let's go now to the mother of the Unification Church, name given by father to Mrs. Kang, for a wonderful scriptural reading. Tim.
Mrs. Kang has asked me to read 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 23. And the very God of peace sanctify you wholly. And I pray God, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Wow.
말씀하십시오.
Praise God.
안녕하십니까.
Good morning, everyone.
오늘 여러분들께 말씀드릴 내용은 뜻이 다 이루어진 그 본연의 세계의 모습, 본연의 세계의 생활, 본연의 세계의 심정으로 돌아간 내 자신은 어떤 자세를 가지고 살아야 하느냐 하는 것을 그 내용을 가지고 말씀드리겠습니다.
Today I'd like to speak to you about what our attitude, what our life should be. That we will be the kind of people that will be in the original world, the kind of 심정 or heart that we will have then, and what the attitude and the kind of thinking that we will have then.
타락에 후손된 우리들은 언제나 마음 가운데 그리워하는 것이 있습니다. 그것이 무엇인가 하면은 타락 전 본연의 처음 세계에 그때의 우리의 심정 생활을 그리워하면서 그 생활을 내 생활 가운데 정말로 옮겨 놓아야 되겠다는 생각을 오늘 여러분들도 많이 하실 것입니다.
We are descendants of the fall, and so there is always something that we are longing for. And what we are longing for is that world of Shimjong, or world of heart, that existed in the original world before the fall. And I'm sure that many people have experienced this.
죄 짓기 전 그 타락 전 인류의 모습은 어떠했을 것인가 생각할 때마다 참 내가 상상하고 또 그리워도 하고 생각하면서 그때의 본 모습으로 내 자신이 정말로 돌아가지 않으면 안 되겠다는 생활 또 그 모습 그 심정을 생각할 때가 많이 있습니다.
I often try to imagine what people must have been like, human beings must have been like before the fall, before sin came into the world. And I think of myself, how can I become that type of person?
그렇지만은 참 오늘 우리들이 마음은 그걸 굉장히 사모하고 그 입장에 섰으면 하지만은 타락에 후손된 우리는 만물보다도 더 낮은 자리에 떨어져 내려왔습니다. 아무리 마음은 원하지만은 그것이 마음먹은 대로 되어지지 않을 때가 많이 있습니다.
But no matter how much we may like to be that kind of people, the kind of people that existed before the fall, as a result of the fall, human beings have fell to a position that was even lower than the rest of creation. And so we have no way of going back to that position on our own.
그래서 우리는 기도하면서 정말로 어떻게 하면은 그 자리에 도달할 수 있고 그런 모습을 갖춘 자기를 자기에서 찾을 수 있을 것인가. 많은 사람들이 그것을 동경하고 바라고 있지만은 마음대로 되지 않는 것이 타락의 후손된 우리들의 모습이라고 봅니다.
Many people pray about how to become that type of person, but the fact of the matter is that we are fallen and we are not able to do what we would like. We are not able to return to the position as we would like to.
그래서 어떻게 하면은 될 수 있을 것인가 생각해서 성경에서 그 답을 찾아보려고 애를 많이 쓰는데 성경에서는 얼마나 우리 인류가 참 떨어져 내려왔으면은 모두가 다 그렇게 탄식하고 살지만은 지금 안 되었습니다. 그래서 저는 생각해 보기를 어떻게 살아야 될 것인가 생각하다가 답을 얻은 것은 다른 것이 아니었고 믿음을 잃어 우리가 타락했기 때문에 본 모습의 자리에 올라가려면은 정말로 잃어버렸던 이 믿음을 찾아 세우지 않으면 안 된다는 것을 저는 느꼈습니다.
And so people turn to the Bible to try and find an answer of how we can return to that position. And as I think about this, I realize that we lost our position as a result of a loss of faith. And so I think that we need to recover that faith in order to return to this position.
그래서 우리가 생각만 하는 것이 아니라 정말로 거기에 도달하기 위해서 기도 많이 하고 정성을 들이고 하나님 아버지 참 아버님 이렇게 아무리 하려고 해도 내 힘과 내 능으로는 할 수 없습니다. 하나님 찾아오시어서 같이 해주시고 참 아버님 오셔서 정말로 도와주시지 않으면은 내 힘으로 될 수 없사오니 하나님 동행 동사 동력해 주십시오 하고 원하는 마음을 가지고 기도할 때가 많이 있습니다.
So I pray to God that, and I say to God, I can't do this on my own. You need to help me. Please, Father, come and be with me and help me and participate with me and work with me so that I can accomplish this.
그래서 참 본 모습을 타락전 그 입장으로 돌아갔을 때 그 세계, 그 심정이 어떠한가를 많이 그려보기도 하고 생각을 하면서 그 답이 계시록 22장에 나와 있더라고요. 어떻게 나와 있느냐 하면은 정말로 새 하늘과 새 땅을 보게 될 때에 그 모습을 내가 이루어 놓았을 때에 그 세계는 너무너무 크고 귀하고 아름답고 참 말씀 그대로 천국이라고 할 수 있습니다.
And I try to imagine what kind of, or I try to draw pictures in my mind of what kind of world this is going to be. And the answer to that actually is in Revelations chapter 22, where it talks about a new heaven and a new earth. And that Revelations 22 talks about that original world of heart or of 심정 that is the kind of world that we are trying to achieve.
그렇게 되려면은 하나님이 내 안에 오셔서 일체를 이루고 내가 하나님 안에서 일체를 이룬 그 경지에 내가 들어갔을 때에 정말로 내게서 참 모습을 찾을 수 있다는 것도 느껴보았습니다.
And I feel that when we come to the point where God is in me and I am in God, that if we can achieve that state, that will be what we are trying to accomplish, to return to that original position.
그래서 오늘 우리가 정말로 아버님이 늘 말씀하시는 절대적으로 믿어야 된다. 여기에는 정말로 바늘금만큼 머리털 하나만큼도 불신의 요소가 섞이지 않은 100% 믿을 수 있는 그 경지에 섰을 때의 그 모습을 내 안에서 찾을 수 있다고 아버님도 여러 번 말씀해 주셨습니다.
And Father often said that we need to believe absolutely. There cannot be any doubt in our minds, not even a pinhead of doubt, not even a hairbreadth of doubt. And he would tell this to us quite often.
그래서 저는 아버님께 말씀드리기를 아버님과 우리 타락한 인류와는 이거는 같지 않습니다. 그렇기 때문에 우리는 아무리 노력하고 하려고 해도 거기에 달하지 못하고 있으니 어떻게 하면 좋겠습니까? 이렇게 문의해 본 적도 있습니다.
But I told Father, we are different than you. We are fallen, and you are not. And no matter how much we may try, we cannot do as you are able to do. And so how can we do this? I asked him.
그때의 아버님 말씀은 내가 이 경지에 이 자리에 오기까지에는 정말로 오늘 지상에 수많은 도인들이 수많은 신앙자들이 많이 노력해왔지만은 그 몇십 배에 몇백 배에 나도 노력을 하고 정말로 그 경지에 이르려고 기도하고 정성을 들여서 이 자리까지 왔기 때문에 정성 들이지 않으면 안 된다는 말씀도 들어본 적이 있습니다.
And Father said, actually, for me, for him, speaking about himself, he said for him to achieve that state, he had to pray and offer sincerity and dedication tens and tenfold, hundredfold more than the spiritual masters, that people known as the spiritual masters in this world. And so he said, you just have to keep trying. You just have to offer sincerity and dedication and prayer until you're able to achieve that state.
아버님께서 말씀하시기를 나도 일생을 무엇을 걸어 놓았느냐 하면은 내가 우주를 주관하려고 하는 이 자리에 서기 전에 정말로 내가 내 자신을 주관할 수 있는 그 자리에 달하기 전에는 그 자신을 이룰 수 없다고 말씀했었어요.
And he said that before I could exercise dominion over the universe, I had to work hard to exercise dominion over my own self. And he said that was the focus. He said that was the focus of his life when he began his mission.
아버님이 생활하시는 것을 제가 볼 때에 뭘 많이 느꼈는가 하면은 정말로 자기가 자기를 주관할 수 있는 그런 경지에 서 계시더라고요. 그러니까 웃다가도 금방 웃을 수 있고 웃으시다가도 울 수 있고 마음대로 자유자재로 주관할 수 있는 자리에 서 계시는 분이 정말로 아버님이셨다는 것을 저는 많이 보았고 많이 느꼈고 많이 정말로 아버님을 통해서 배웠습니다.
And as I observed Father, I saw that he was a person who was in complete control of himself. He could be laughing one moment and then crying the next, or weeping one moment and then laughing the next. He was in complete control of his emotions, and he could express different emotions freely as he wanted to.
그런데 우리는 그렇게 아무리 하려고 해도 안 되어져요. 그래서 늘 엎드려서 기도하면서 하나님 지어주시었던 본 모습이 이렇게 그리운데 하나님 그 모습을 그 생활을 그 심정을 내게도 주시옵소서 하면서 기도한 적도 많이 있었습니다.
And so Mrs. Kang often prayed to God, God, I long so much for the original way in which you created me. I want to be that way. Please let me experience that. And she often has prayed that way.
그래서 2000년 전 예수님께서도 그렇게 생각하신 것 같아요. 그래서 뭐라고 말씀하셨는가 하면은 너희들 내 이름을 믿고 또 더 나아가서 평강을 주시는 그 하나님을 생각하면서 자기가 평강의 주인이 되었을 때에 하나님은 그에게 하나님의 아들이라는 큰 명분을 주신다고 했어요.
And Jesus, I think 2,000 years ago, also felt the same thing. And he said that if you believe in me, and that if you believe in the God of peace, then God will give you the name of being His Son.
그래서 믿음으로 우리는 하나님의 참 자녀가 될 수 있는 그 아들, 딸의 자녀의 그 위치에 설 수 있다고 생각해 볼 때에 오늘 우리들이 정말로 화평케 하는 자가 되어졌을 때에 그런 큰 복을 주신다고 했기에 오늘 우리도 가는 데마다 화평을 창조하고 화평을 이룰 수 있는 자기가 되고 화평을 많은 사람들의 가슴에 심어야 되겠다는 생각도 해보았습니다.
So Jesus is telling us that through faith we can have the name of being the sons, daughters of God. So I think we need to be a people of peace, people who create peace wherever we go, and people who can inspire peace wherever we go.
그래서 예수님도 하신 말씀이 무슨 말씀이냐 하면 내 이름을 믿고 화평케 하는 자에게는 무엇을 주신다고 했느냐 하면 하나님의 자녀의 권세를 주시겠다고 했어요.
Jesus said that if you believe in my name, then you will have the authority of God's sons and daughters.
우리가 하나님의 자녀라는 이 명분을 우리가 받았을 때에 정말로 자녀로서의 그 생활, 자녀로서의 그 실천, 자녀로서의 그 심정을 우리가 느끼고 또 그대로 살아야 할 것입니다.
So we need to live with the heart of God's sons and daughters.
그에게는 심판하는 권세도 주시겠다고 했어요. 그래서 아버님도 저에게 몇 번이고 말씀했습니다. 진짜 정말로 100% 절대적으로 믿고 나가게 되면은 심판하는 권세도 주신다. 믿으면은 구원, 믿지 않으면은 멸망한다고 예수님도 말씀하셨는데 정말로 우리가 진짜 믿을 때에는 하나님의 자녀의 권세를 주어서 우리가 어느 경지까지 달할 수 있느냐면은 심판만 할 것이 아니라 오늘 청권을 행사할 수 있는 그 자리에도 우리에게 세워주신다고 했습니다.
And Jesus said that we can have the authority to judge. And Father also said this to me many times, that he said that when I was going out witnessing, that if you really believe 100%, then you will have the authority to judge. Jesus said that if you believe in me, you will have a everlasting life, implying that, of course, that if you don't believe in me, then you'll be condemned. And so we need to understand that and to believe completely, so that we can have that authority. He said we can have that absolute authority. Father also said.
청권이라는 것은 다른 것이 아니고 만능을 행사할 수 있는 그런 경지예요. 안 되어지는 것이었고 모든 것이 뜻 속에서 만사 형통하며 이루어질 수 있는 그런 경지입니다.
To have complete authority, as Father said, means that we are able to do anything that we think is necessary, and that it is possible to achieve that kind of a state.
그래서 아버님께서도 그 세계를 이루어 놓기 위해서 그 뜻을 세우시기 위해서 평생을 정말로 아버님은 남들이 좋다고 할 때에 아버님은 좋아하시지도 못했고 남들이 봄을 맞이해서 기쁘다고 했을 때 기쁘시지도 못하시면서 아버님은 생활에 오셨던 것입니다.
In order to bring about that kind of a world, Father was not able to be happy when others were happy. When people were joyful with the coming of spring, Father was not able to share their joy because he was completely focused on bringing about this world for God's ideal.
이 아침 우리는 그 세계를 그리워할 뿐만 아니라 정말로 내 안에 그 세계를 이루어놓고 하나님 내 안에 오셔서 그 세계를 이루어 주실 수 있는 참아버님께서 오셔서 우리에게 정말로 일체 이상을 이루어서 그 세계를 이루어 놓을 수 있는 그 세계의 모습의 심정으로 돌아갔으면 하는 것입니다.
This morning, let's long for that world, but not just longing for it though. Let's also build that world within us and ask God to come and be within us so that we can accomplish this ideal in the world.
그래서 정말로 우리의 온 영과 혼과 우리의 생활 전체가 다시 새로 지음받은 처음 지어주셨던 타락전 본 모습의 심정으로 이 아침 돌아가서 새로운 생활을 했으면 하는 것입니다.
So let's work for this with all our soul and with all our mind and all our spirit, so that we can return to that position in which God created us.
그래서 참 하나님께서 아버님께서 생각하셨던 그 세계는 뜻이 이루어진 세계. 그래서 모든 만백성이 정말로 하나님의 뜻 속에서 기뻐하고 즐거워하면서 죄와 허물을 벗은 그런 경지에 들어가서 춤추면서 살 수 있는 그 세계가 계시록 22장에 있습니다.
And Revelations 22 talks about the world that we are trying to accomplish, the world where we are in the way in which God created us, where we are able to dance with joy with God.
그래서 우리의 혼과 또 더 나아가서 우리의 영과 우리의 몸이 지었었던 흠과 티가 없는 그 본 모습을 갖춘 그 자리에 우리가 처하게 될 때는 그가 가는 곳곳마다 거기는 천일국의 주인이 될 수 있는 동시에 새로운 세계를 창조할 수 있는 그런 놀라운 역사가 거기에 나타날 수 있을 것입니다.
And that when we are able to do this, then we are able to create a new world on this earth.
그래서 아버님께서도 마지막 성호하시기 전에 하신 기도가 다 이루었다 했는데 그 이루었다는 그 세계가 어떤 세계였느냐 하면은 타락전 그 세계, 본연의 그 세계, 하나님이 정말로 지었었던 그 세계를 이룬 그 자리라고 보는데 오늘 우리들도 마음이 정말로 그 자리에 그 경지에 우리가 도달해서 그렇게 우리가 살 때에 그 안에 하나님 찾아오시고 참 아버님 찾아오셔서 우리가 일체 이상을 이뤄놓고 살 수 있는 천국의 시민이 되고 천국의 주인이 될 수 있을 것으로 믿어집니다.
In Father's last prayer, final prayer, he said that it is done, it is done. And so we have to ask ourselves, what is it? What is the world that he said was done? And that is the world of God's original creation that was done. That all the conditions were set for that world to come about. And so we just have to accomplish that within our hearts so that we can live in that kind of a world.
우리가 참 하나님의 자녀가 되고 참 아버님의 자녀가 되어서 정말로 다 이루었다 할 수 있는 그 경지에 도달할 수 있는 내 심정이 되어지기를 바라고 있지만은 그것이 아직 거기에 도달하지 못했기 때문에 싸우고 있는 중입니다.
We would like so much to be able to say, also to be able to say that it is done, that it is done. We would like to be able to live in that world where we can say that everything has been accomplished. But because we have not yet gotten to that state, that is why we are fighting among ourselves now.
그래서 우리는 옛 모습을 다 벗어버리고 옛날에 입었던 옷, 낡은 옷, 헌 옷을 벗어버리고 새로운 심정에 새로운 옷을 입고 우리 자신들이 다 이루었다 할 수 있는 그 세계에 도달하는 내가 되는 반면에 그 세계를 이 땅 위에 펼칠 수 있는 주인으로서의 책임을 다할 수 있는 우리가 되기를 바라고 있습니다.
We need to be able to take off our old clothes and put on a new heart or 심정 with a new clothes so that we can accomplish this world within ourselves and also spread this kind of a society and world throughout the earth.
그때의 우리의 생활은 정말로 변화된 심정이 되고 변화된 모습이 되고 변화된 내 본 모습을 내 안에서 찾을 수 있을 것입니다.
When that happens, we will be able to have a new heart and a new appearance, and that we will be completely renewed from within ourselves.
하나님께서 아버님께서 우리들을 볼 때 참 본 모습을 이루어 놓은 자신이로구나 할 수 있는 칭찬하실 수 있는 그 자기를 만들기 위해서 우리는 기도하고 정성들이고 노력하며 또 더 나아가서 우리가 서는 것뿐마다 하나님의 참 아버님의 청권을 행사할 수 있는 그 자리에 우리가 서야 될 것입니다.
We would like to return to that position so that God can look at us and say, yes, this is the kind of person that I had intended. This is the kind of person that I wanted to create. But we need to pray and offer a sincerity and dedication, incredible, a great deal until we can achieve that part.
그렇게 되기 때문에 아버님께서 말씀하시기를 저는 여러 번 들었어요. 내가 이 자리에 서기까지, 내가 지금 이 입장에 있을 때까지는 그냥 된 것이 하나도 아니라는 거. 거기에는 무수한 세상과 더불어 싸우고 사탄과 더불어 싸우고 정말로 싸움의 연속이었다는 말씀도 하시면서 오늘 너희들도 내가 가르쳐준 그대로 산다면은, 내가 가르쳐준 그 말씀을 실천해서 산다고 한다면은 그렇게 될 수 있을 것인데 어째서 그렇게 내 말을 듣지 않느냐고 부지짓은 적도 많이 있었습니다.
I heard Father say several times that nothing that he had achieved had come naturally or easily or automatically. He said that he had to fight for everything that he had achieved. He had to fight the Satans, he had to fight the world, and he had to fight for everything that he had achieved. And he said, I've done it, and also you can. But why don't you listen to me? Why don't you do as I say? All you have to do is follow what I've told you.
천일국의 주인이 되기를 바라고 계시고 오늘 우리들이 뜻을 다 이루었다. 아버님께서 말씀하신 그대로 자기의 본 모습을 내 안에서 찾고 내 생활에서 찾고 또 이것을 많은 만민의 가슴 속에 심어줄 수 있는 이 책임 다 할 수 있는 우리가 되어야 하겠습니다.
We need to find within ourselves the original way in which original person that God created, and to find that and to offer prayers and sincerity dedication so that we can bring that about.
우리는 특별히 욕을 많이 먹고 참 때로는 외롭기도 하고 때로는 하나님 정말로 같이 있어야 되겠습니다 하고 우리가 기도하지 않을 수 없는 오늘 우리 입장입니다. 바라건대는 우리가 다 한마음과 한뜻이 되어서 오늘 우리에게 세워주셨던 왕님과 더불어 왕비와 더불어 하나가 되어서 그 세계를 하루속히 이 땅 위에 이룰 수 있는 우리 자신들이 되지 않으면 안 된다는 것을 깊이 우리들은 생각하면서 그 세계의 참 주인으로 나타나기 위해서 우리 다 같이 노력하십시다. 고맙습니다.
Father wants us to become owners of Cheonryukguk, and so in order to do that, we need to become one with the king and queen that True Father has established, and then work with them to bring about this kind of a world. Thank you very much.
And we'll be right back after this short break.
Give me your heart, give me your song, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain and you can be satisfied. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. me hear you testify into the wild canyons of you. Oh, there's a world to fall into. Weightless will dance like kids on the moon. Oh, I will give myself to you as soon as you start to let go. Give me your heart, give me your soul, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain and you can be satisfied. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain and let me hear you testify. Wave after wave, as deep goes to deep. Oh, I'll reveal my mystery as soon as you start to let go. Give me your heart, give me your soul, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain and you can be satisfied. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain and let me hear you testify. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come
we are back. Welcome back to the King's Board this Monday, July 17, 2017. I'm your host, Hyung Sean Moon, the second king of Cheonilgung, broadcasting live from the Cheonilgung Palace. Now we're moving into our top news section of the day. But before we do that, we're going to see an hilarious video. Alex Jones responds to a new viral Jones Ivor Super Deluxe folk song released. Let's take a look at that. Take me up the screen, guys. Take me up the screen.
No one's been able to really give it a good name yet, but it's the dominant emerging art form in our world today. It's an entirely new genre of satire, of memes, around splicing different artists, different cultures, different ideas together. And I am extremely proud that in the meme wars that are going on in this country and worldwide, my show is probably the dominant material being used in all of this. And quite frankly, whether it's people that are supportive or folks that hate me, I don't care. Because out of it, it is just helping my broadcast completely explode. But out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces of art I've seen emerge the last few years, this one is undoubtedly the best. And it comes from the folks at Super Deluxe. This isn't a mashup. This is something far beyond that. We haven't come up with the term yet, have we? It's up to the internet to develop that, and then we'll all recognize that great truth once we see it. But this is destined to get 50 million, 100 million views. Who knows? Because the censors are letting it get through because they think it's hurting me when it's doing the opposite. This little gem's been seen more than 7 million times since it got uploaded yesterday morning to Facebook, YouTube, and other platforms. So here it is. The paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order.
In the river, Texas.
That's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum, and giant death factories keeping babies alive, selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally call out from under rocks. They have green in their skin, and they run around screaming, "We love Satan, we want to eat babies." I have them on video.
Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head.
That's what
That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just did. Obama and Hillary both.
Oh no, come on. Come on, that's what you get with a slow internet. Oh man, this is so classic. Daggone it, daggone it. All right, let's try that again. Let's see if we'll load that in again. Oh my goodness, don't do that this morning. We'll move to time capsule, see how that will work. And reload. Oh, that was so classic. Come on. 5G. We're gonna move to 5G. Well, as you know, there's no teleprompter. We're doing this live on the King's Report, trying to roll with the punches, so to speak. Okay, and 5G is not working either. 5G XET. We'll try that 5G extension. See how that will bring it up to speed as we upload it again. Let's go back to Hillary Smells. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to refresh it. We're doing this all live, folks. Nothing is teleprompted like ABC, CBS, and CNN. And we roll with the flow. Here we go as it's refreshing, and let's check it out. Let's jump to.
So here it is. The paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're
stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weirdo woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur.
He's a big old bear.
My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
Wasn't that nice? Subscribe to Super Deluxe.
Oh my Lord, that is freaking hilarious.
All know is going to be an album because what the people demand, they get by the amazing artist, Nick Lutsko. Now, to be clear, I don't like folks making fun of medical experiments on children or splicing humans with animals, something that I've been forcing out into the media consciousness. But in the end, we will take this piece of art and we will basically take in the poison and then through alchemy spit it back out in a way that will empower humanity and warn the world. So next week we're going to release this music video again, and it's fair use. It is using my work, it is using my words, it is using my voice, it is using my mind, and I'm going to add articles and videos to everything I said in it, no matter how outrageous it sounded, documenting it for you in triplicate. You will see people with green colored skin. You will see people saying they kill their babies and they love Satan and they love being ugly and they love stinking and howling and screaming all over the country, literally possessed by the modern spirit of anti-human garbage. But the real spirit of humanity is rising and no one will be able to stand in its way. I'm Alex Jones and I'm proud to be part of Super Deluxe. And I want more installments. I want them now.
Oh Lord, that gave me a good laugh on Monday morning. Oh Lord, that is so funny, man. InfoWars is probably the top. They have such a creative young people team. Like, did you see Gideon's video? That was so incredible.
Yes.
That was so hilariously done. That's kind of like a meme style video. You know, it's a riposte, obviously, to the heresy of the family fraud and the weak theology that they're trying to develop, which is just pagan theology. But how he incorporated all this hilarious things. This is like a really important part of the internet warfare. You know, and you know, they got to make these videos. They should make a funny video of me ranting. That would be pretty hilarious. Oh my goodness. Anyways, there you go, folks. A nice, good chuckle on Monday morning. Let's go now to top news on drudgereport.com. There he is. Healthcare delay over McCain Health. The kingpin of the mafia rhino Republicans, to be separated from the real Republicans like Senator Rand Paul, Ted Gowdy, and folks as such. But the sellouts who sold themselves to globalism, sold themselves to the cartel, sold themselves out to the bankers, sold themselves out to the king of Saudi Arabia, sold themselves out to supporting ISIS. These people are warmongering sickos. They are despicable, fake conservatives who constantly push us into endless war where we have to murder women and children who are innocent. It's ridiculous. We are sick of fake conservatives posing as Republicans when they are clearly working for the king of Saudi Arabia, like McCain, who is a politician for purchase. Ridiculous. There he goes. The condition for which Senator McCain has surgery on Friday may be more serious than initial descriptions have implied, and may delay his return to Washington by at least 2 weeks or 1 week or two. How about forever? Look at these politicians who are literally having dementia and having brain lapses like Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters thinking that George Bush is the president. She said that now like 13 times. That woman has literal dementia. She doesn't even know who the dang president is, and she's up in arms like, we got to remove the president, and President Bush has to be removed. These people are crazy. They're lifelong politicians, puppet politicians for purchase, sitting there for life in the Senate and Congress, messing up our republic, making irrational, ridiculous laws that outregulate small business and entrepreneurship in favor of the monopolistic cartel, corporate, international conglomerate cartels. We are sick of these fools. That's why in China there is a limit on how long a politician can sit in that stupid post, and there's no salary for the stupid staff. It's supposed to be public service, not public exploitation, where you go into a politician as a pauper and come out a freaking prince. You're supposed to hate that job, but you do it because you want to help society for a little while, and you're not supposed to want to do it forever and stay in as lifelong politicians who were bought up and purchased by the king of pedophiles, Saudi Arabia. Give me a break. This is ridiculous. Oh, man. You just gotta laugh at this. It's so crazy. That video of Alex Jones was so freaking Oh, that was so funny. I want to see it again. Oh my gosh, that was so ridiculously funny. Oh man, just covering this political sadism every day is just so mind-numbing. I tell you, it hurts. It's like having a brain freeze on steroids every day. It's like having a brain smashing every day. Just to read this crap every day. Oh, Lord have mercy. The Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has already announced that votes on a bill to dismantle the Affordable Care Act will not begin until Mr. McCain's return. It will never be done by these stupid rhino Republicans who are bought and paid for by the freaking ISIS supporting Saudi Arabia king. It's ridiculous. Guys, pull up a picture of Senator McCain bowing to Saudi king, or McCain with ISIS. Do you want to say people who are informed are the crazies? These fools are the crazies. All these fake rhino Republicans, like 80% of them are fake. They're the same damn two-party duopoly funded by George Soros that's come out with Paul Ryan receiving money from George Soros executives. We've covered the story on that. They're in the same damn team as the leftic lunatic Democrats, who are the open commies. These Republicans are fake Christian commies. They're colluding with the most dominant international crime cartel in the world. Bought for and paid for. If you have the Rothschild Group, it has like $100 trillion? Absolutely ridiculous. To pay a politician a couple million is literally like giving them a penny. Literally, it's like giving them a penny. Or less than a penny. You don't understand how that works? How much you can sway politics? Oh, yes, Senator McCain, we'd like to donate $20 million to your nonprofit organization for veterans. Can you help us with some of this legislation that we're a little concerned about, and we'd like for that to be able to pass through? And don't worry, I'll have my accountant do the work, and I'll have our people send you that support so you can continue on with your good work. Then the blink, 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 and Senator McCain, okay, yeah, I gotta get that done. Brother Trump. Ridiculous! Guys, you pick a picture of McCain with ISIS. These people are sick. They are in government positions for profit. You got McCain with ISIS? There he is, there he is. McCain with literal ISIS, supporting them, saying that they're good guys and that we should go pretending we're going to go fight ISIS. Then he supports the takedown of governments that are actually fighting ISIS, like Syria. Because he wants that stupid Saudi Arabian-backed Al-Qaeda, which now become metastasized into ISIS, which is IS or whatever name they want to label it just to confuse the public. It's the same damn radical Islamic fundamentalist group that is funded by Saudi Arabia and armed and weaponized by the United States. This is ridiculous. Look at that. There he is, that fool, sitting with one of the top members of Al-Qaeda and Al-Qaeda. It's ridiculous. These fools need to have term limits and get these idiots out. Trump did an amazing executive order where he put limits on the lobbying individuals who lobby, bans on foreign lobbyists, lifetime bans on. Anyways, he stepped it up from the very beginning. He's got to put limitations on how long these politicians can sit in their office. For one thing, ridiculous. The statement from Mr. McCain's office said a 2-inch blood clot was removed from above his left eye during a minimally invasive craniotomy with an eyebrow incision at the Mayo Clinic Hospital in Phoenix, following a routine annual checkup. Usually a blood clot in this area would be a very concerning issue, said Dr. Nrupin Baxi. He added the recovery time for craniotomy is usually a few weeks. A statement from the Mayo Clinic Hospital said that the senator was recovering well and in good spirits at home, and the tissue pathology reports would come back in several days. But many questions have been left unanswered, including where Mr. McCain had symptoms. Why doesn't McCain just go away? Huh? Just go away. Stop ruining the Christian nation of America while pretending to be conservative and Christian, when he's a complete warmonger, totally not conservative, totally waging war on different countries, ousting countries that are actually killing ISIS. Fools like this need to just disappear and go away. Stop meddling and destroying people's lives. Piece of trash. He's the only one who's called a patriot by the Democratic Party for his incredible work. And those people that exposed McCain, he was not a hero in, what was it, Vietnam?
Vietnam, he was a prisoner of war.
He was, yeah, but he was flying away. He was constantly doing things where he was running away from the enemy. There's so much on McCain as not a war hero, but him just being paraded around so they can guilt shame America to give him whatever the heck he wants. They use him as a little veteran war prop. Hey, we want to go to war. Get out, roll out McCain. We want another war where we arm ISIS. Roll out McCain. This is ridiculous. People think you're so stupid that you buy this crap and a constant war where we're killing innocent people and we're killing institutions and regimes that are fighting ISIS. This is ridiculous. They go to Syria, they're killing off Assad, who is actually fighting ISIS with Russia, allying with Russia, fight ISIS and destroy. They're smashing ISIS. Like within 3 weeks of Vladimir Putin working with Assad to hit ISIS, they hit like some of the major oil rigs. They were knocking out ISIS's bases. Like within 3 weeks, Obama was saying he was doing it for 8 years. He couldn't do crap. ISIS grew under Obama because he was protecting them and arming them. That's mainstream news. All they did is just say, oh, U.S. helping moderate Syrian rebels who were ISIS. Oh, ridiculous. And then the next page, you have moderate Syrian rebel armed forces joins Al-Qaeda and ISIS. But they think you're so stupid and have no freaking memory that you can't read from page 1 to page 2. This is ridiculous. Then they want to grow their stupid ISIS pit bull dog so they can say, oh, there's a Syrian crisis, we need more refugees pouring in, and then let ISIS pour into Europe and the West to implode it because it's the only riposte to communism and the UN communist regime that is trying to globalize communism worldwide. Ridiculous. These are confirmed criminals, confirmed liars, confirmed pathological disinformation CIA operatives. You understand? The CIA and the deep state does actual regime change in nations. Do you understand that they are actually doing regime change in the United States, trying to displace and impeach Trump with regime change? Do you understand that the deep state government, the U.S. government, is against the U.S. people? They are against you. They hate you and your family. They will see you as little serfs and slaves to be controlled and to conform to their legislation and their regulations as they pimp out themselves, partying in their political prostitute, purchasing funded little political seats. Ridiculous. Trump is trying to fight all these fools, and that's why they're trying to do regime change with the deep state on him. And send him, and John McCain, that total traitor to the United States of America, to these United States of America, is at the helm of the Ryan Republicans with Paul Ryan trying to get rid of Trump. While he's the one with ISIS and receiving money from Saudi Arabia and George Soros. Give me a break. You can't make this up. It's so crazy. Now you see why they say can't get the freaking blood pressure up while I'm talking about these fools. Because it's so sickening. Hey, baby, don't worry. I'm not mad. Daddy not mad at you. Don't worry, baby. Don't worry, Dada. Don't worry, Dada. Baby not mad at you. Oh, Lord have mercy. Just these politicians make me sick. They make me sick. Ridiculous. Hey, baby, no, okay. No, you're sweet. You're sweet to Daddy. China unveils gene technology to create superhumans with hypermuscular test tube dogs. This is crazy. Armies of super soldiers were a step closer to reality today after China announced it was genetically engineering hypermuscular super dogs. Gene manipulation, human gene splicing with animals. I mean, this China's been doing it for 50 years. They've been in this for 50 years. Guess what? The U.S. government has been doing this for 50 years. We have, and you know who's been really hounding this? It's InfoWars. It's Alex Jones. He's the one talking about all these chimeras that were published in MIT articles in the 1980s, talking about how they're gene splicing. They're splicing like 80% genes of cows with 20% genes of human beings, and then they're creating these cows that produce breast milk, or they're crossing spiders with goats, and then they're, you know, different gene percentages, and then they're creating spider web and basically a type of Kevlar material which they use for bulletproof vests using spider web produced by goats through their milk. People who know this are not the crazies. These are published in scientific journals on news in mainstream media, but they do it for one day and then by the next day everybody's forgotten it. The general public is so brain dead and dumbed down that they can't remember what the hell was reported to them 5, 10 years ago. Because people don't have a memory no more. In this age of fast clicking and instant gratification clicking and 3-second switch editing and advertising, where you can't think. Every 3 seconds, the stupid screen shifts on you, so your brain can't process information and get bored and gets constantly mesmerized by stupid commercials. Guys, pull up like Pepsi commercial. And I'll show you. You can literally pull up any commercial because there's psychological studies done on it, produced in peer-reviewed papers, where people have, the marketers use a 3-second, on average, 3-second editing time span. So that every 3 seconds, about 2 to 3 seconds, the screen will change so that your mind cannot flip off and it gets mesmerized into continue to watch the program. Go ahead. Just play a random advertisement. Okay. Anyways, our crew is looking at it now. Go ahead. Here we go. Let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You see how it's changing? About 3 seconds. This one is a little longer, so it's on average. So on average, is this a Pepsi commercial? Why is it so long?
It's like a skate.
Oh, it's like a skate kind of thing. Okay. So people are getting so used to the 3-second shift that now they actually click into something that has a longer thing in the middle. But if you look at, for example, action movies and stuff like that, you'll see about every 3 seconds there's a change in the editing and camera angles, etc. Okay, enough of that. The point is, China unveils gene technology to create superhumans with they've been doing this for 50 freaking years. 50 plus years. They've been infatuated with gene manipulation, and there's serious ethical problems with this. If you're human splicing, if you're splicing human genes into these animals, all right, and they have chimeras, which they don't show the public, which are probably way more dominant in human genes, well then, what are you going to do? That thing is like a 80% human being. Does it have human rights? Can it be kept in a test tube and tested on by scientists? What about it's 99.9% human being, but 1% animal? Does that have human rights then? Those are ethical questions. Of course, China Constitution answers that. But in terms of regular ethics in a normal world, where China is not here yet, how do you deal with that? Can you just kill that like you can kill a goat and a cow? If it's 50% human, 50% goat, and it looks like a goat, can you kill it? Have you killed half a human being? You see what I'm saying? There are serious ethical issues. You don't just go around gene splicing, gene manipulation. This is one of the signs of the time of Noah and the time when God judged the world with flooding. Because the Nephilim in Genesis 6 come down and rape the women, and then they have hybrid human beings who become the giants who David kills in Goliath and his 5 different brothers, or 4 different brothers. And the race of giants, basically a hybrid with demons. Because they're doing what? They're basically gene manipulating. They're AI trying to use gene splicing, trying to mess around with the original DNA information that God created. And what did God do? He wiped them out. He flooded them out, destroyed it all. Because you screw it up when you start gene splicing and doing all this insanity, you may be killing human beings in the process of it. And when science is able to kill human beings for test tube babies and test tube science, that's no longer science, that's now murder. And that's why human beings should be angry about it. Because they're murdering your species and they're murdering your people in the quote name of science, but really we know it's to militarize and dehumanize humanity so they can legitimize and justify their control of humanity and their governance of humanity, which is simply serfdom. The elite are always trying to find a justified reason. They want to dumb you down. They want to make you evil. They want to promote transgenderism. They want to promote homosexuality. They want to promote all sorts of deviance so you become deviant. And then they say, look, 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 how bad these human beings are. That's why we have to control them. That's why we need the central state. That's why we need the evil government to be controlling everything, because they want you to fall into that and become the dregs, not the epigenetic human potential that God had you to be, to become the rulers and reigners of sovereignty and of the world. To be honorable and to have integrity. They don't want any of that. They want you to be degraded and dumbed down and stupid and idiotic and cult-like, so that they can be justified and feel good about the evil they're doing on humanity while saying that it's benevolent and magnanimous because look how much trouble that human beings create. Even though they're the ones who purposely dumb you down, even though the ones that they purposely hypersexualize your kids, even though they're the ones that purposely push transgender bathrooms in your face and made your children take off their pants and pee next to grown men if they're daughters. Give me a break! They're the ones who told you parents are bad and that parents shouldn't raise their kids and they should all be owned by the state. They're the ones who indoctrinate your children into Marxism, communism from elementary school to Marxist college. They're the ones that dumb down the population. Why? Because they want to justify and feel good about themselves for their control freak, parasitical, pathological psychopathy. They want to justify the fact that they're control freaks and that they're vampires and despicable, parasitical grubs. Little maggots with fangs that are sucking off of hardworking people. They want to get rid of all the alpha males so they can dominate and take over the women and then use the women and to bear children to use in the pedophile cults. You sick Satanists. That's why gene technology and manipulating human being genes and gene splicing and create chimeras is dangerous. It's very bad. They are destroying human life. They are murdering people to do this stuff. Okay, what if you make a clone that's 80% human and 20% dog? And then they're keeping a test tube, doing freaking tests on that thing. Well, it's 80% human. Oh, now you got some serious issues, don't you? See how those ethical questions come up? This is ridiculous. More on this and more right after this break. Don't go away.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group, with a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood, the history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun, to the best in compact concealed carry. Carr Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Carr Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit carr.com today.
Let love explode and bring the dead to life. A love so bold to see a revolution somehow. Let love explode and bring the dead to life. A love so bold to bring a revolution somehow.
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
And we are back. Welcome back to the King's Report this Monday, July 17, 2017. I'm your host, Hung Sean Moon, the second king of China. Getting back to this crazy article on China cloning, now having success cloning a dog. The dogs, which are test tube bred in a lab, have twice the muscle mass of their natural counterparts and are considerably stronger and faster. The canine genome has been especially difficult to engineer and replicate, but its close similarity to the human genome means it has long been the prize of geneticists. Now, the Chinese success had led to fears the same technology could be used to create weaponized superhumans. They've already done that 30 years ago, typified in Marvel Comics by Captain America and his foes. They've been tested on human beings for 50 plus years. David King, director of Human Genetics Alert, voiced his fears over what is widely viewed as the first step on a slippery slope. He told Express Co. UK, it's true that the more animals that are genetically engineered using these techniques bring us closer to the possibility of genetic engineering of human beings. Dogs as a species in respect of cloning are very difficult and even more difficult to clone human beings. There's no medical case for it. The scientists are interested in being the first person in the world to create a genetically engineered child. No, they've already done that. They're interested in science and the technology and their careers. They will continue pushing the regulations for it. That does set us on the road to eugenics. I am very concerned with what I am seeing. And that's what, of course, that is what has been the dream of the elites. They are eugenicists. Eugenicists believing that they have superior genes and that they have to preserve their gene lines and get rid of black people and Hispanics, etc. Some of the most prominent eugenicists being, of course, the Nazis, but connected to them, you have people like Darwin, and you have people like Edward Bernays, and you have people like, who are some of the other eugenicists of the 19th century? Margaret Sanger started Planned Parenthood to eliminate the black populations. I mean, you're talking about complete white supremacist racists, who are usually the eugenicists. An army of superhumans have been a staple of science fiction and superhero comics for decades, but the superdog technology brings it closer in reality. The Chinese researchers' first self-bred clone dog was named Little Long Long. The beagle puppy, one of 27, was genetically engineered by deleting a gene called myostatin, giving it double the muscle mass of a normal beagle. The advanced genetic editing technology has been touted as a breakthrough which could herald the dawn of super breeds, which could be stronger, faster, better at running and hunting. You understand, the Chinese are a pagan civilization. They don't have any prohibitions on manipulating gene technology of human beings. They have no Christian ethics that sees human beings as the apex of God's creation because they don't believe in a God. The state is the God. Whatever the state deems as good is good. Whatever the state deems as bad is bad. That's why you have a citizen's rating card where you are literally granted bank loans if you have a good report card. And if you say anything negative of the government, you will have minuses to your report card as a citizen's report card, where then you will not be able to have access to loans, money, etc. Free buying and trade, selling, etc. And this is the same totalitarian state that Mark Zuckerberg is working with Facebook to bring that censorship model and that citizens rating model to the world. Do you understand how crazy and psychopathic these control freaks are? They are literally the dregs of the predators of humanity, and they are the ones ruling us. The worst of the worst. Like Bezos and these fools who run Amazon.com. Don't order from Amazon.com if you can help it. I've canceled all my subscriptions at Amazon.com. So I try to order from that as least as possible. And Tim made a great point on the King's Report the other day, saying that if you need to get something real quick, run down to Walmart and get it. You're helping the local economy, helping employ our kids and the young people so they can find jobs. When Amazon.com puts Walmart out of business and puts all these businesses out of business, your kids won't be able to find no employment anywhere. And that's purposely what they want to do, because they want to make a state where there's a monopolistic wholesale e-commerce kingpin Bezos rules it all, and you have to buy all your stuff from one company, one individual, and everybody else is unemployed, so that everybody has to be forced onto social welfare and then be brainwashed and indoctrinated into statism and seeing the government as a state and its big daddy God provider. Whereas if you have free market and you had a decentralized state, everybody could be employed, start their business, etc. You don't have the regulations. You can start a hair salon out of your back door. Start a restaurant in your kitchen. You don't have to go through the stupid permits and the FDA regulations and the stupid this and that. How about you have to make this ramp that high and this toilet pipe has to be this high. It's ridiculous. By the time you're starting a new business, you spend $200,000 to $300,000, you're in debt before you even start running in the race. And it's exactly how the monopolists want it to be. So they can continue to dominate the entire market. How do you think it works in the communist state of North Korea? And anywhere else, a communist colluding corporate entities, international conglomerates colluding with government is the easiest way to maintain their monopolies and out-regulate their competition, which are the entrepreneur class of small businesses. This is the same China that is that type of demonic state on steroids, where they organ harvest Falun Gong members for practicing meditation in a freaking park. And they kill evangelical Christians with Bibles who don't submit to the state. They kill them, and then organ harvesting, at least they profit off the bodies is what they think. Hey, might as well just kill these fools. We might as well profit and make some couple $1,000 off of these lifeless bodies that we murdered. They're the psychopathic Asians who rule over 1.5 billion poor Chinese people who are made to work in sweat factories while the UN lectures the US about all of these different types of laws. Meanwhile, China can drill its own oil, can do whatever it wants, can do tons of human rights violations, can implode nation states, kick out people like Tibet out of Tibet, Tibetans out of Tibet, take over countries, claim the Southeast, claim the entire Pacific Rim as its own international waters. And the UN says nothing. They can organ harvest their own civilians, and the UN says nothing. This is ridiculous. Then they want to lecture us about how we can't have Donald Trump, and we can't have sovereignty, and we can't have freedom, and we can't have guns, and we can't have weapons, and we can't be able to defend ourselves, and we have to be slaves to the state, and we have to be certainly pulled into neo-feudalism, and we have to obey and worship the world government through the UN. Give me a break. This is ridiculous. Give me a break. We're succeeding in gene technology. They've been doing it for the last 50 years. MIT has been talking about chimeras since the 1980s, saying that they had medical breakthroughs in the 1980s. This ain't no new thing. Dr. Lai Liangshui, researcher at Guangzhou Institute of Biological Medicine and Health, said, "This is a breakthrough, marking China as the only second country in the world to independently master dog somatic clone technology after South Korea." Meanwhile, China's military is becoming the largest in the world and already is the largest in all of Asia. Some 65 embryos were edited, and from that 27 were born, the little Long Long. The only one who was created without the myostatin gene. Myostatin is known to control muscle size in humans. Dogs are one of the hardest animals to clone, with only South Korea thought to have successfully created a clone in the past. As well as the enhancements, researchers said in the Journal of Molecular Cell Biology, some dogs will be bred with DNA mutations in a bid to help medical research, including some which mimic Parkinson's. I love how they always say, "Oh, it's for medical research. We want to help people with Parkinson's. We want to help cure cancer." Meanwhile, what they really want to do is they want to militarize it. Oh, we want bionics and we want robotics to help old folks in senior homes. Meanwhile, they got the most scary, weaponized, freaking robots that can jump 15 feet in the air, and they're 300 pounds, they're like 800 pounds heavy. Using, what is it, those pistons. Go ahead, guys, pull up Scary Robots. What's that organization that's owned by Microsoft? It's Boston out of Mass Labs. Mass Labs? What is that? Anyways, look up Scary Robots on YouTube. Scary Robots. I mean, you won't, people are so uninformed. It's ridiculous. Don't call me a conspiracy theorist because I'm informed. It's ridiculous what they do. They always sell it to you as, "Oh, it's going to be your little helper, and it's going to keep you company. It's going to be your little puppy dog. It's going to do little things like bring you your slippers. It's going to help old folks find doors, and it's going to help the blind and the poor. It's going to help people with Parkinson's and cancer." And then they create these beasts and monsters that can literally run like the freaking RoboCop movie. And when they put guns on that thing, what the hell do you think it's going to do to people on the freaking military warfare? It's going to kill them. These are killing machines. You understand? Why do you think DARPA and the military is always developing these things? You think it's for helping people with Parkinson's disease and senior citizens old folks' homes? It's to develop nasty military weapons. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. And you can even kick this thing and it won't fall down. Hey, what happened there? Just screen shutting off?
No,
screen shutting off.
sometimes.
There it is turning. The elite always have been infatuated with militaries that never question them, that don't have a conscience, don't have a soul, don't have a human being in them. That's why they want these bionic militaries and these robots that will kill anything they're told to kill, eventually turning on their creators and killing those stupid elites.
themselves, because if they have AI technology, they'll make the conclusion that the human beings, including their stupid controllers, are a problem. They'll wipe them out. What do you think that bionic robot is supposed to do? Supposed to dance for you? That how stupid you are? That's why the military is pumping hundreds of $millions in this, for them to dance for your entertainment. They're there to kill. You understand that, you dumb idiot? Robotics, biocellular technology, all this gene splicing is for killing. You stupid idiots. Give me a break. Okay, let's show that one, show that one. Look at that thing, look at that thing! That is crazy! That is ridiculous. Oh, and by the way, that's all solid steel. If that thing hits you, you're gonna break your legs off. One strike and you'll be freaking split in half by something with hydraulic tension power. You will be freaking split in half with one hit from one of those robots. You understand? You know how weak a human body is? I'm in an advanced level, and I'm near a master. I'm near a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the art of strangulation and crippling. Do you understand? I know how weak the human body is. That thing can cut you in freaking half. You understand? That's how ridiculous this is. Drone technology, all this kind of thing. Always weaponized for the Satanists and always weaponized for the political elite who want to use and multiply force so that they have advantages over the normal population. Okay. So they're going to develop this stuff anyway, so that means what? The civilians have to have access to it too. That's what it means. The elite must not be able to centralize access to this technology, which they of course want to do. They can access it, then the people also must be able to access it. There must always be a countervailing force against centralized elites. So that if they try to unleash these on people, people can unleash it on them. Ridiculous. They can be splicing human beings into stupid cows and pigs all day long for 50 plus years and get away with it, China and the US. But if anybody else tries to do it, they'll arrest you in a second or a heartbeat. Not saying that you should be doing it. If they create robotics and those kind of weaponized monsters like that, well, human beings should better, normal citizens better have access to that too. Or, of course, we got to create, normal citizens have to create the technology to destroy those kind of stupid things with like EMP blast weapons, where you shoot it and all the electrical circuits turn off, which they're already creating. Humanity will create solutions to the monsters that the elites create. Whether it's EMP blast shotguns that can shoot down drone swarms. Look up drone swarms. YouTube on drone swarms. That's scary stuff, man. Drone swarms are scary stuff. Because you can't shoot them down with just a rifle or something. You got a whole group of 50 different swarms that will come after you. And they'll be, all of them will be demolition infused. So when they hit you, they explode. How are you going to fight that stupid thing unless you have an EMP shotgun blast that can shut them all down? Oh, look at that. U.S. fighter jet launched drone swarms of hundreds of micro drones. Look at that. You see those drone swarms coming up? Zoom, zoom, zoom. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see the drone swarms actually moving in synchronization and in synchronicity. Oh my gosh, look at that. Vehicles orbit around a common point. Holy Shemitah. Dang, look at that GPS tracking of the drone swarm. That's really scary, man, if they do that crap to people. That is terrible. And they're all weaponized too. Can you imagine these cold, heartless, soulless pieces of steel flying around, weaponized, all with some crazed psychopathic controller who's given the order to kill you with him. Talk about dystopia. Talk about freaking RoboCop coming to life. This is ridiculous. There has to be solutions to destroy this type of drone swarm technology attack. Are the young people didn't go yet? I see Gideon walking around here still. Anyways, everybody pray for the young people who will be going on the 20s trip to Florida and unlocking their epigenetics, doing many different activities. They're going to be catching a pig, harvesting the pig, processing the pig. They're going to be doing BJJ competitions on the beach. They're going to be snorkeling, eating alligator, and of course, studying DP and absolute sex teaching before they get married. Okay, so they're going to do a lot of amazing things. There are boys and girls, so of course I prayed for Shimpati this morning, but we pray that all the boys and girls remain responsible. There's no sexual stupidity or idiocy on their journey to Florida, and that all the organizers make sure that they're constantly warning the kids of that kind of stuff that, you know, could potentially happen. You always want to let the kids know. Don't let them fall blindsided into it. Always let them know that they, you know, this is boys and girls here, so they got to always respect each other and always take care of one another as brother and sister. And even though they have sexual urges because they're young people, they always have to remain dignified and with integrity and character and save themselves for their beautiful and gorgeous, hot, sexy, beautiful husbands and wives that they will marry. Okay, so make sure that's good. Gideon, all the organizers there, make sure you guys are constantly reminding the young people of those kind of things. And there's like a 30-second delay, so they won't hear this until about 30 seconds later. Okay? Anyway, so many crazy things going on, folks. But don't call me crazy, because I'm informed. We'll be right back after this short break.
Trust in you, and we won't be shaken. We will trust in you, we will not be moved. We will trust in you, yeah, we won't be shaken. We will trust in you, we will not be moved. We will trust in you, and we won't be shaken. Shaken, whatever will come our way, through fire or pouring rain. We won't be shaken, no, we won't be shaken. Whatever tomorrow mountain rises higher. The way seems so unclear, but I know that you go with me, so I will never fear. I will trust in you. Whatever will come our way, through fire or pouring rain, oh, we won't be shaken. No, we won't be shaken. Whatever tomorrow brings, together we'll rise and sing that we won't be shaken. No, we won't be shaken. Oh, oh, oh. No, we won't be shaken. You know my every longing. You've heard my every prayer. You've held me in my weakness, 'cause you were always there. So I'll stand in full surrender. It's your way and not my own. My mind is set on nothing less than you and you alone. I will not be moved. Oh, whatever will come our way, through fire or pouring rain, oh, we won't be shaken. No, we won't be shaken. Whatever tomorrow brings, together we'll rise and sing that we won't be shaken. No, we won't be shaken. We will trust in you.
Joint military exercises in Queensland.
nothing for me. This life is not my own. I know you go before me, and I am not alone. That's
At break of day, in hope we rise, we speak your name.
And we are back. Welcome back to the King's Report. This morning, Monday, July 17, 2017. I'm your host, Hung Sean Moon, the second king of Chuniguk, here with Tim, the Agent Elder, and Andrew Lausberg from Australia. Andrew, welcome to the King's Report studio this morning.
Nice to be here.
Andrew, of course, and Tim were the main translators, at least for English. Okay, at least I understand there's Russian and stuff like that. But for English, in the OSDP 7-day victorious lecture series.
8-day.
8-day, I'm sorry, 8-day OSDP lecture series. And Andrew is here joining us from Australia.
That's right.
There we go, land down under.
Yeah. Northern and Southern Hemisphere.
All right, hey, there you go. North and South together here in the King's Report studio. Tim, let's go first to your article and your brief report, important report on Europe. Tim.
Okay. One of the stories that we've been covering here is the slow motion train wreck that is happening in Europe with the migration situation. And the Mediterranean has been fairly calm the first part of this year, and so a lot of migrants have been passing from Africa, northern Africa, into Italy, especially because the ports there are closest. And now Italian officials are saying, hey, you know what? They've been trying to get the EU to help them, but EU doesn't want to help them. So Italian officials are now threatening to exercise what some people are calling a nuclear option. Italian officials have threatened, and this is on the worldtribune.com, Italian officials have threatened to issue temporary EU visas to 200,000 migrants. Italy has been struggling to cope with a huge increase in people fleeing from Africa and has become frustrated with what it says is the lack of help from its EU neighbors. More than 86,000 migrants have crossed the Mediterranean to Italy this year. France and Austria have used dogs and the threat of armored vehicles to push back migrants who try to enter their countries after leaving Italy. Mattia Tualdo, I don't speak Italian, a senior analyst at the European Council on Foreign Relations, told the Times, if migrants continue to arrive and Italy decides to give them papers to cross the borders and leave Italy, it would be a nuclear option. Italians have lost any hope of getting help from the EU and may say, if you won't make it a common challenge, we will. Mario, how do you pronounce that? G-I-R-O in Italian. Is that Giro or Giro? It's Giro. A deputy foreign minister, and Luigi Manconi, a senator with Italy's ruling Democratic Party, told the Times that the government is considering issuing migrant temporary visas. Giro believes that Italy can exploit European Council Directive 2001/55, developed after the Balkans conflict, and to give temporary EU entry permits to a large number of displaced people. Analysts said the Schengen Protocol, which allows all EU citizens to travel freely across the continent, may be in jeopardy if Italy follows through on its threat. Alberto Panifilio, mayor of the Italian city of Cona, told AFP that the camps where migrants are placed are akin to a human warehouse. The migrants arrive, they don't know where to put them, and they have a warehouse. They dump them here. The asylum seekers were treated like garbage, he added. So this is, this migrant crisis is popping up and exploding everywhere, and now it's in Italy. Last year it was in Greece.
There you go.
Can I do one more?
Go ahead, Tim.
As a frequent, or not so much recently, but in the past, a frequent airline traveler, and one who many times will spend 10, 12, 13, 14 hours in an airline cabin. This article is close to my heart, as it were. Passed gas forces passengers from plane at RDU, spokesperson says. A person who passed gas on an American Airlines plane on Sunday afternoon forced all passengers off the jet, officials said.
Dang, that's some bean-eating fool. How do you get all the people off that jet?
Now, I will confess that I'm guilty of this particular crime. But I think I've done it in a way that no one has noticed. The incident happened when passengers on the flight became ill with nausea and headaches. According to the person with Raleigh-Durham International Airport, the flight, which was not identified by RTU officials, landed at the airport around 4 p.m. when the incident was reported. All the passengers were taken off the plane, and after the incident was instigated, it was determined that a passenger passed gas, the official said. I wonder who confessed to that. Anyway.
How did it fill the whole cabin? What kind of gas was this guy passing? He didn't have a propane tank, did he? I mean, that guy has one bad case of bean addiction. Give me a break. How did he clear out a whole dang 747? That's some crazy bowel power. That may be a superpower. We may have found China's superhuman.
I think so. Yes, I think so.
Superhuman bionic man.
Yes, that's it.
With the secret weapon. Oh, Lord. Oh, my goodness. This is ridiculous. Absurdity. Oh, have you ever heard of anything like this, Andrew Lausberg? Of somebody passing gas, clearing out a 747? Was it a 747?
It's the first time I've heard of that.
That's ridiculous. How can you clear out an entire plane? I can understand a couple passengers around you.
Yeah.
You clear out a whole plane. All the passengers, including the driver, what is he called? The pilot. Was nauseated and sick.
It means that either it must have been extremely concentrated or an extreme great volume, right?
Great volume. Many IU units emitted into the atmosphere. Dang, what kind of blowhard this fool has? Oh, my Lord. That is ridiculous. What a nasty, disgusting article. Oh, my goodness. Almost as disgusting as Nancy Pelosi and her constant brain freezes as she repeatedly flubs lines during attack on Trump. Watch Nancy Pelosi again with the total brain dead Maxine Waters, the dementia Maxine Waters. This is Nancy Pelosi, a Democratic minority leader. She is one of the leaders who run our country. And this woman has said 13 different public occasions that she believes George Bush is in the presidency. This woman has senior citizens dementia. Here she is again, having more brain freezes as she curses Trump again. They should make a whole collage of Nancy Pelosi
of the Trump administration as related to the rule of the law. That the Trump administration and the Trump family have eagerly intended to collude a hostile foreign policy to influence an American election. Members of Congress take a sacred oath. What do the Russians have politically, financially, and any personally on Donald Trump that he fawns over Putin, questions sanctions?
You're the fools that met with Putin and
reckless when it comes to Article 5.
lawyer in who you say Donald Trump is colluding with. Junior is colluding.
Of the security clearance for Jared Kushner. It's absolutely ridiculous that he should have.
You're ridiculous. You're the one who said Bush isn't president. He's the president for 13 times.
Votes to get answers for the American people. We will force Republicans to take.
You're the criminal who went into poor as a politician, and now you have hundreds of millions of dollars off of government contracts that your husband has because of your reign.
Some of the questions they will have to answer will be posed by our colleagues. I'm pleased to yield to the distinguished top Democrat on the Financial Services Committee.
These people are pathetic.
California.
They are the dregs of society, running the show. Guys, pull up clips on Nancy Pelosi thinks President Bush is in office. Ridiculous! These politicians are sick. I'm sure you have these kind of politicians in Australia as well.
Oh, yeah, we've got a few.
You got a few communist politicians out there. Stressful experiences can age brain by years. Alzheimer's experts here. Child's death, divorce, or job loss linked to poorer cognition in later life. Study finds with African Americans more susceptible. That's because they're targeted with GMO foods and GMO, poisonous, cancerous lifestyle. And phthalates, which make you more likely to get heart disease, cancer, and diabetes combined. Phthalates found in processed foods, fast foods, and soda pop. Yeah. And that's called the standard African American diet. If you're African American, you're supposed to be eating that kind of stuff all day long. Because the elites say it, or they make buy some stupid rappers to make you believe that that's part of your culture, and you should not be eating organic, clean foods that God created. Because that wouldn't be cool. Give me a break. Stressful life experiences can age the brain by several years, new research suggests. Experts led by a team from Wisconsin University School of Medicine and Public Health in the U.S. found that even one major stressful event early in life may have an impact on later brain health. That's why they want to give you so many injurious and stressful events early in your life. Make your parents divorce, which is one of the most stressful aspects of childhood for people who got divorced. You can see in the statistics. Whether it be child experiencing divorces, whether it's experiencing the transgender cult that is pushed on them, making them more confused, whether it's hypersexualization and them having sex at an early age, destroying themselves and destroying their lives. They want as many dangerous, stressful events on you early so they can destroy your potential and prey upon you. Because as any predator does, they want to make you weak so they can eat you, devour you. The Bible says, be careful, the Satan is a roaring lion. He is a lion out to kill and maim you. The team examined data for 1,320 people who reported stressful experiences over their lifetime and underwent tests in areas such as thinking and memory. The subject's average age was 58 and included 1,232 white Americans and 82 African Americans. A series of neurophysiological tests examined several areas, including 4 memory scores: immediate memory, verbal learning and memory, visual learning and memory, and story recall. Stressful life experience included things such as losing a job, death of a child, divorce, or growing up with a parent who abused alcohol or drugs. The results showed that a larger number of stressful events was linked to poor cognitive. It would help if the FBI didn't have the operation to unleash the heroin epidemic onto the black population, starting from the jazz clubs. That's open and reported by Dr. Williams, who wrote a book on the CIA and FBI, doing their sociological tests on poor black people starting from jazz clubs, releasing heroin epidemic in there. It would also help if the U.S. government didn't run the damn heroin trade, putting it into the minority neighborhoods, using them as distribution centers and money-making centers on the black market, where the CIA can charge billions of dollars, taking control of the $300 billion $900 billion heroin trade, one of the biggest, most lucrative drug trades in the world, which every mafia organization is trying to go after, including the CIA now has control of it. 93% of the poppies for heroin are produced by the U.S. government. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can't make this stuff up. It's so crazy. And they targeted and they used the African American minority populations, including the Vietnamese, Southeast Asians, you name it, to unleash their drug epidemic on. And of course, they criminalize narcotics, so all the young people get put in prison early and they get used as slave labor, while these NGOs and the federal government says, oh, we have prison help organizations that we've created to help prisoners get jobs. Meanwhile, they're being used for slave labor, being paid $1.22 an hour. That's how they get slave labor legally and keep the minority young men, quote, they say off the streets, but they keep them in slavery. And at the same time, they incentivize divorcing of honorable men so that single motherhood explodes, and then they create more danger, sociological dangers for their children, and lower IQ rates for the kids in the next generation, lower graduation rates for the kids in the next generation, lower incomes for the kids in the generation, because they got rid of the father. They imploded the society, got rid of the good males. And now you have the single women who are told they're goddess and can do everything on their own, which they can't, raising kids who are more risk for violent crime, criminality, drug use, lower incomes, etc. You name it. And by the next generation, you have irresponsible young men who are having sex with all these women, who are getting incentivized for being single women and having multiple children with different men, getting subsidies from the state. Then you, on top of that, the drug trade, which is pushed onto them, and then you have a situation where the young people can't get out. And they're either forced into the drug trade, forced into the prison slavery system, forced into privately owned prisons that, quote, are doing NGO work, doing compassionate volunteer work for helping those prisoners. Meanwhile, they're using them as slave labor. It's ridiculous that these prisons are privately owned and that they get quotas for how many jail cells they fill. And that's why they want people for drugs, small drugs like marijuana and stuff like that, to be put in prison. Of course, it's not good to use marijuana and stuff like that. But that's how they fill the prisons with non-violent prisoners, over 80% being non-violent crimes. They are privately run businesses. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's absurd. It's absurd. When looking especially at African Americans, the team found that experienced 60% more stressful events than white people during their lifetimes. Yes! And who did it to them? It's the federal government archangel. It's the government bureaucrats that did it to them. And they're doing it now to the Hispanics and the Southeast Asians and the Cambodians and the Vietnamese in LA. You name it. They target everyone because they're the most white supremacist racists on the planet. They are the eugenicists like Bill Gates and Macron, elitist Macron, white supremacist who says black people in Africa have too many children. Give me a break. Talking about Trump supporters being white supremacists. Those idiots who rule you are the white damn supremacists in the Democratic Party. Give me a break. The Democratic Party being the party that started the Ku Klux Klan, and the Republican Party with the NRA being the ones who armed black people to fight against the Ku Klux Klan, but they don't teach that in history in schools anymore because that's real history, and that would make the Democrats look bad as the ones who actually supported slavery. And they were against abolition of slavery, whereas the Republicans were for it. Give me a break. Don't call me crazy because I am informed. We'll be right back after the short break with Andrew Lausberg and Tim Elder. Don't go away.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today.
are back. Welcome back to the King's Report this Monday, July 17, 2017. I'm your host, Hyung Shon Moon, second king of Cheongguk. Now back to our headline news. A shocking article. Emeritus Pope Benedict the 16th. The church is, quote, on the verge of capsizing. The Catholic Church is a boat, quote, on the verge of capsizing, said Pope Emeritus Benedict, that's the previous Pope, 16, in a personal message for the funeral mass of his close friend Cardinal Joachim Meissner on Saturday. Given his inability to travel, the usually silent retired Pope delivered the message in writing and had it read aloud in the Cologne Cathedral by his personal secretary, Archbishop George Ganswein, who also serves as prefect of the papal household for Pope Francis. In the text, Benedict said that Cardinal Meissner found it difficult to leave his post, especially at a time in which the church stands in particularly pressing need of convincing shepherds who can resist the dictatorship of the spirit of the age and who live and think the faith with determination. What moved me all the more, Benedict said, was that in the last period of his life, he learned to let go and to live out of a deep conviction that the Lord does not abandon his church, even when the boat has taken on so much water as to be on the verge of capsizing. Wow! Pope Benedict, who is actually the Pope, is saying that Pope Francis, who is the fake Pope, is illegitimate. Essentially, that's what he's saying. His leadership has created a situation where the Catholic Church is now on the verge of capsizement. Wow, and this was predicted as the final Pope being Francis. And the newer order ousting Benedict, because it's possible that he's been in child rituals at the top level of the Catholic Church, ousting him, blackmailing him, in order to get one of their puppets in from the Jesuit order. Francis, who was part of the Argentinian massacres, killing literally tens of thousands of people. He was the head of the Argentinian diocese, colluding with the Argentinian government when they have, quote, planes lifting out, quote, communists, planing them up into the air, and then dropping them out of the back into the ocean. This Pope is not only involved in genocide, this Pope, of course, pushing the whole New World Order agenda of climate change and taxation on the poor. Tax for Al Gore enriching himself, and Obama and his friends enriching themselves, and the Bilderberg Rothschild group padding their pockets that are already overflowing with trillions of dollars. There's no end to this evil. And Pope Benedict is saying that the Catholic Church is about to capsize. Notably, Cardinal Meissner was one of the 4 cardinals who presented a series of questions or dubia to Pope Francis last September, asking him to clarify 5 serious doctrinal doubts proceeding from his 2016 apostolic exhortation, Amoris Laetitia, the joy of love, concerning Holy Communion for the divorced and remarried, the indissolubility of marriage, and the proper role of conscience. The other 3 prelates who submitted the questions to the Pope were Cardinal Raymond Burke, patron of the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, Carlo Caffara, Archbishop Emeritus of Bologna, and Walter Brandmüller, President Emeritus of the Pontifical Committee for Historical Sciences. When Pope Francis failed to respond to the dubia, the 4 cardinals published their questions publicly last November. The Holy Father has decided not to respond. They wrote, "We have interpreted his sovereign decision as an invitation to continue the reflection and the discussion calmly and with respect." Emeritus Pope Benedict XVI turned 90 years old on Easter Sunday, after which he gave a rare birthday speech inside the Vatican expressing his thanksgiving to God for the gift of life. "My heart is filled with gratitude for the 90 years that the good God has given me," said Benedict, who retired as Pope on February 28, 2013. The first pontiff to do so in 600 years. February 28th, 2013. There have also been trials and difficult times, but through it all, he said, "He has always led me and pulled me through so that I can continue on my path." But he is saying that the Catholic Church is on the verge of capsizing. Yeah. The centralized, goddess-worshiping Catholic Church. You know, Catholics are shocked to come to grips with the reality that their church teaches that Mary is born sinless, and that she's perpetually a virgin.
That's right.
They have the doctrine of perpetual virginity. That means when she was having sex with Joseph, having babies, Jesus' other brothers and sisters, Joseph is banging her. Okay? And they're saying she's a perpetual virgin. Hello, it's like...
How's that work?
Well, this is exactly come from the cult of Diana and the goddess worship of the Greco-Roman Empire. They also believe in the goddess's perpetual virginity, which she would never lose virgin even though she slept with 1,500 hunters. Diana coming to them in their dreams and having sex with them. And that would, of course, justify the temple prostitution cult and the perpetual virginity of the glorified priestesses of the cult, which are whores. And no matter how many times they sleep with all these men willing to pay homage and money to the priests who are operating this prostitution business in the cloak of a temple, that these virgins, these whores are perpetual virgins. So you're always getting a fresh one from the goddess Diana or Aphrodite. Did you know that the Catholic Church has as one of their doctrines, and even Doug, who is a former Catholic, he didn't believe it. So Kuk Jung was having a whole debate with him, a very friendly debate in the back, saying, no, what are you talking about? I'll show you from the actual Catholic website. And he eventually did. And Doug's saying, I don't know if Doug's here today. But people who are even Catholic are not taught this type of pagan theology. And it's like the academics and the intellectuals know this, but it's this big secret, and they're out there, they're supposed to be protecting this pagan goddesshood. Which is the reason why it ends up in the prostitution of nuns who have to celebrate their human rights when they join the Catholic orders, and they literally become property of the Catholic Church. And that's why nuns who are in the Catholic Church, who've come out, say that they were sexually abused, just like they sexually abuse altar boys. Well, they sexually abuse nuns too. And they're used for the sexual pleasure of the different people in hierarchy, bishops, cardinals, you name it. Popes, you name it. The orphanages founded by the Catholic Church many times being filled with the children of the priests and nuns. Ridiculous! But oh, they believe in the goddess Mary and her original sinlessness and her perpetual virginity. And of course, the nuns are so holy, and they're having sex with some of them, not all of them, but some of them are forced to have sex with the priests who are the representative of Jesus Christ on earth, so they're actually not sinning. This is crazy. This is what they believe, at least in their deluded minds. And it's not like those nuns, many of them are victims. Many of them are very pure when they go in and enter the nunnery. They actually want to be the bride of Christ. But then they're exploited by the centralized hierarchy that actually protects pedophilia and the raping of women. Ridiculous! Which, of course, France is saying now on the verge of capsizing.
Benedict, yes.
I'm sorry, Benedict. What do you think about that, Andrew Lasberg? In Australia, does the Catholic Church have a powerful presence in Australia as well?
Yeah, Catholic is quite big in Australia.
Have they been plagued with kind of pedophile scandals in
Very
Australia?
much so.
Oh,
For
wow.
a couple of years.
Wow.
From about 2 years ago, there was what we have a Royal Commission, which is a special commission in Australia, and they've been going not just through the Catholic Church, but many institutions that have done this. This has been
But they won't do
very
that about
big.
the British Crown. They won't do it about the British House of Windsor.
No, they won't do it up there. But
they won't expose the pedophilia in the British Crown. Yeah. the royal investigative body.
But that's what we have in Australia, because nominally Australia, we still have a queen, right? So.
Oh, you still have a queen?
Yeah, that's Queen Elizabeth. She's still the
Yeah,
Queen of Australia.
right. Exactly. You have the British Crown.
But, you know, they did this Royal Commission for about 2 years, and it
gosh.
looks like the culmination of that was the charging of Cardinal Pell.
Oh, wow.
Who is he's Australian,
Oh, yes,
but he
we
was
covered
the
that.
third, you know, in the Vatican, and now he has to.
Huge.
He's returned to Australia to face charges. So took them a while,
To the
but
top.
it looks like they're going right up there.
Well, they're right up to the top, aren't they? They're
Yeah.
really threatening the Catholic Church that you better do what we tell you. You better do what the New World Order owns you, which the Vatican is a huge colluding part of. You better do it, or others we're going to bring up all these scandals. This is a systematic problem to the Catholic Church. This homosexual
Yeah.
issue,
Yeah.
the homosexuality among the priests, the raping of young boys, altar boys, and of course the hidden sexual exploitation of the poor nuns. Oh, it's so ridiculous. This is why Father always chastised the Catholic Church and said, stop this insanity of the centralized power. And all you priests have to separate and get married.
Yes. To receive the blessing.
And then follow Reverend Moon and decentralize off of the Catholic Church. And look what Father did. He completely decentralized the entire church, doing tri-messiahship, etc. You name it. That's what the Catholic Church needs. They need a good whooping, a good capsizing to destroy and all the pedophiles drown out. Ridiculous. Yeah, that's right. Australia is a huge scandal with Cardinal Pal right there. Oh, he's been more of a pal to some young boys. Give me a break, these fools. But that's shocking news and huge news. Huge, huge, huge news. Pope Benedict says the church is on the verge of collapse. Also on the Wall Street Journal reports, can the most expensive indie movie ever break even? With a budget of $180 million, the 3D spectacle Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets will need to win over global audiences to make money. A new science fiction spectacle, Valerian and City of 1,000 Planets, opened with a memorial montage of intergalactic communities joining to form a giant space colony, all set to tune of David Bowie's Space Odyssey. And this is, many times, it's been the dream of the elites to actually write, to use science fiction as a medium to project what they actually wish for the future of humanity, into the atmosphere. And of course, many of these films talking about the deepest fears and our ambitions of the elites for the future, then wanting to colonize space colonies. Of course, normal people won't be able to colonize them. They'll only be able to bring the super elites that will be able to fly to those places to colonize them. Meanwhile, they don't care if the Earth implodes and gets destroyed by World War III, which they're trying to create because they hate Trump and the sovereignty revolution that is now spreading through Europe. Poland now being highlighted by President Trump as really the face of Europe, not the stupid EU and the France and Macron and Germany with Angela Merkel. These complete globalists are not being highlighted anymore by Trump. Trump is doing a fantastic job making them look like bums and highlighting other nations who are standing up against radical Islam, who are standing for Christian values, who are standing up for their women, who are standing up for freedom and sovereignty. But there you go. Also, nuns versus the pipeline. Here we've been talking about nuns. Here they are again in the news. Nuns versus the pipeline. A chapel is part of the fight now. Lancaster against pipelines and the sisters. The adorers of the blood of Christ built a chapel to try to block construction of a natural gas pipeline. They built an open-air chapel rushed in a plot carved from a cornfield bordered by a park in a suburban development. There you see the... they made it out of wood. A open-air chapel. An arbor shades the altar fashioned from what looks like a picnic table. The pulpit is constructed from a slab of walnut perched atop a section of a trunk of a locust tree trunk. In front of the altar are 8 benches serving as pews. A cross is made by branches of a rainbow of ribbons hanging from its cross members. It's a simple chapel. It fits us, says Sister George Ann Biscan of the Adorers of the Blood of Christ, which owns the land. We live simple lifestyles. The Sister of the Orders of the Blood of Christ may lead simple lives in service to God, but their lives have been complicated recently. The proposed construction of a natural gas pipeline would cut through the farmland. The order owns just outside Columbia in Lancaster County, across the river from York County. They're in the middle of the fight to prevent the pipeline developer, the Williams Company, an energy infrastructure firm headquartered in Tulsa, Oklahoma, from seizing the right-of-way through their land to build a 120-mile-long pipeline that cuts through central Pennsylvania. Of course, with the help of our loving politicians.
Yes. Sounds like a private property issue here.
Ridiculous. The chapel is part of the fight built on land Williams has gone to court to seize through eminent domain. Hey, how about let people have sovereignty over their freaking land and stop pretending that it's not, that they have sovereignty when they don't. You can't drill on your own land. You have to pay property taxes to the government. You don't own your own dang land in the United States. How about give us sovereignty so you don't have to build your stupid pipeline which pads the pockets of your colluding government monopolies and your politicians. And people themselves can be enriched off their land. Hey, how's that? It's a novel idea, isn't it? Give me a break.
Sounds like a good idea.
The chapel is a part of the fight building. Okay. This and more crazy news, folks, as we return back from this on our final segment. Stay with us.
Car Arms, Magnum Research, and Auto Ordnance. The Car Firearms Group. With a diverse product line that blends American craftsmanship with cutting-edge technology. It's no secret why gun enthusiasts choose Car Firearms Group. From the Desert Eagle and Baby Desert Eagle made famous by Hollywood. The history of the 1911 and the Tommy gun. To the best in compact concealed carry. Car Firearms Group is not only the first name in personal defense, it's a name that has earned the respect of gun enthusiasts around the world. Concealment, innovative technology, value, accuracy, and history. Car Firearms Group. Made in the USA. Visit car.com today.
And we are back. Welcome back to the King's Report this Monday, July 17, 2017. On our final segment, I'm your host, Hung Sean Moon, the second king of China. Let's breeze through the headlines because we don't have much time remaining. And then we'll have Andrew Lausberg, his testimony on OSDP and general comments about the world state of affairs as reported today on the King's Report. DrudgeReport.com links us to all sorts of crazy things. Prosecutors' power to seize phone. Net records alarm critics. Also, Muslim Authority protests Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Security measures blocks entrance. Israeli officials reopened entrances to holy site following Friday's deadly attack. Disagreeing with installation of metal detectors, Waqf officials call on Muslim worshippers to protest the move. Freaks. The Devil May Care Colombian Tattoo Convention showcases the weird and wonderful as freaks. Vampires and beautiful women descend on Medellin. The 3-day event celebrates the weird and the wonderful. I don't know about the wonderful part about that. Weird, yeah. But look at this fool with the devil tattoo. This guy thinks he's in some kind of movie. Deluded freakazoid.
I don't think he's Mr. Wonderful.
He actually split his tongue to have a forked tongue. To look like Satan. And he really is starved for attention, you know. He's a little beta male, skinny little guy who wants to pretend he's tough and dress in leather and look scary as a demon when he can be beat up in a second by any white belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Although Satan usually comes in the form of a very beautiful person, but anyway.
Right. Satan is actually glowing and radiant, actually very beautiful to women. He's a Marilyn Manson wannabe. And there he is with his fake little wings. Oh, he's so scary. He'll get his booty whooped by a white belt, okay? Give me a break. What a crazy. I mean, just trying to get all this attention. Look at this other guy. This guy is really craving attention. An otherwise handsome young man who put horns and cellulose in his head to mimic alien horns, of which he put lotus flower and, Southeast Asian tattoo motifs around. Tattooed his face up, get himself horns, dyed his tongue, tattooed his tongue, pierced his nose rings, and even tattooed his eyes so the whites of his eyes are black. So he has a soulless appearance. And there he is in a Colombian, looking cool. In his mind.
How do people get into this kind of a spirit world?
Well, they just want to be badass. And they just want to be tough, and the girls give them attention for it because they have something that other guys, and they're not clean and proper, prim and proper, so they think that they're more risk takers, and sexually when they're young age, they're more attracted to them. They have heightened status. If they have a cooler tattoo, they're avant-garde, and they're seen as rebellious, and the girls get attracted to them. And it's just a way for them to try to lure girls into their trap without actually working on being strong. And there you go. I mean, I do have to say a lot of fighters in the fighting community have tons of tattoos. And a lot of gang members also have tons of tattoos as well. So that tells you something about it. When I was young, I wanted to get a lot of Yakuza tattoos. I tell my kids about that. I said, don't think you're special thinking you want tattoos. Your daddy wanted to get all sorts of Yakuza tattoos too, because I was in the fight clubs. Everybody had tattoos too. And I would joke to father, I'm gonna get tattoos on my arms that say Chambu Mani Agmanse. Okay? I mean, our brother Francisco has tattoos of Tongyo marks and stuff like that. But again, people in the fighting community have a lot of this stuff because they're, you know, a lot of fighters have it. It's just part of it. But again, you got a lot of these weirdos trying to do this to actually look like demons, and that's stupid. It's stupid. Again, people have freedom and responsibility. You're able to do this, but have you seen tattoos on elderly people after the tattoos rot and they fade, and you have crinkly, nasty, saggy skin, and your tattoos all like, and you're this grandma with all these tattoos on your neck and your face? It's not the best way to go. It's not the best way to go. Hey, how about working out, having a great body, and becoming very fit, and allowing your natural curves and muscles to show through? How about that?
Sounds good.
Oh, goodness, goodness, goodness. Young people go through the same stupid trends over and over again, I tell you. Also on bear attacks, Colorado reports record number of conflicts between bears and humans led to dozens of bear deaths in Colorado this year. Over 1,000 bears a year being put down as they invade private property, etc. Research team slams global warming data in new report, not reality, totally inconsistent with credible temperature data. Finland breaks the skinny dipping world record. 789 people, 789, yes, 1,000 birthday suit swimmers. There you go. St. Louis homeowner returns from gym to find an SUV crashed into his roof. Don't believe me? Look at the picture. Look at the picture with the SUV in his roof. Apparently, the SUV jumped off the ramp in front of his house and landed in his roof. That's ridiculous. Macron outshines Merkel as EU's top diplomat because he's a child pedophile victim, and the elites love him as they laugh at the population that has to worship him as a Jupiterian god, as he gives them some more executive power in France, ruling them literally as a dictatorship. Ridiculous. Trump cower. Donald Trump begs Theresa May to fix a warm welcome for his state visit and says he won't set a date until he knows he's going to get a better reception. That's ridiculous. I read the transcript of that thing. By the way, that's a leak, and that's against federal law to leak that kind of stuff, which the deep state continues to do. Why these professors are warning against promoting the work of straight white men, saying that straight white men who are producing real science should be disavowed because they're straight and they're white. And we should believe the work of homosexual scientists because they'll do better science. What? It's crazy. Insanity. Poll finds Trump's standing weakened since springtime. Of course, that's a Washington Post poll. And of course, they're going to give you skew poll. These are the same newspaper networks that told you that Hillary Clinton had a 93% potential of becoming the president. When she got destroyed by landslide victory, even though they had 3 to 5 million, according to Trump's 5 million illegals voting, which is a known Democratic operative. They were caught talking about it with buses, pulling in buses to do the rounds of the voter fraud on tape with Project Veritas' James O'Keefe. I showed it during Sunday service. These people are sick. Carl Bernstein's cold civil war gripping U.S. as media embrace different truths. No, one media is disinformation. Alternate media is speaking truth. U.S. Secret Service rejects suggestion it vetted Trump's son meeting. Prosecutors' power to seize phone, net records, alarm critics. I'm sorry, we said that right. And Kid Rock is going to run for the Senate. Globalist mags condemn pro-Trump Kid Rock Senate run. He's also pro-Second Amendment. So the New Yorker, a globalist publication, is demonizing Republican singer Kid Rock's recent announcement that he will run for Senate in 2018, calling the move a terrifying new normal. There you go, Andrew Lausberg.
Yes.
Your final comments on today's King's Report about the whole craziness that we have to encounter and being alive in the last days.
Oh my goodness. What can you say? There's not really much to say. Yes, it's a hazard of being informed, isn't it? Like the more you know, the more difficult it is, really. and I think most people don't want to know because they can't digest it.
Yes.
So you know, people have to have the internal integrity to, you know, we got to build people of integrity who will take this on and deal with it. You know, we
Right.
can't just go under a rock and hide the situations.
Yes.
But yeah, it's all going on everywhere, isn't it? It's really crazy.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom from the bearded Lausberg from Australia. Thank you for joining us today, this Monday, 2017, July 17. It's going to be a hot and hazy today. Make sure you have your non-aluminum sunscreen and organic sunscreen on. Get outside, get some vitamin D. Praise God for His glory. Give Him all the praise. God bless, Godspeed, and may His kingdom come. We'll see you tomorrow, 5 a.m. sharp.